Hello again, YouTubers. This is Ball. It is October 19th, 2015, and I got a bunch of games here for you. I actually recorded this episode, most of it, about half a month ago, and never really got around to editing it together, but I'm finally getting to it now. And even after I'm done with this episode, I'm going to have to do another episode right away because I have a whole lot more games I've gotten in the last month and a half or so since I got these games. But anyways, let's get right on it. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, on Saturday morning, I had a fantastic day. I picked up a whole lot of stuff within a very short amount of time. Thrift stores are just overflowing with really good things to purchase. So I found all of these things I'm about to show you in just two locations. The first one is the first place I went to that morning, which is Value Village, and they just started rubber stamping all the games for whatever reason, and with the same price, and it really worked in my advantage. So let's start right off with the first game, which is Digimon World 3 for the PlayStation. $3, which is an extremely good deal for this game. This game goes for a lot more than that on eBay. It's a little role-playing game with Digimon characters. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I need to get all the other ones too. This is supposed to be a pretty good series. But next, I also have, just like last video, I found 5 NES games. I found another 5 NES games. These are all $4 each. First one is Rygar, a game I've been playing quite a bit since I got it. I used to love this game back in the day, and I still love it, actually. It's a lot of fun. It's a very short Metroidvania-style game, but it's a lot of good fun. And another game, Guerilla War from SNK. This is actually a really good game, and it plays a lot like Ikari Warriors, but it's a much better game than the Ikari Warriors NES games. It's just a lot more polished. And I also have P.O.W, Prisoners of War, the classic arcade game made into an NES game, and this game is a lot of fun too. And this is a highly sought after game. It's a lot of fun. Super Dodgeball, one of the better sports games, well, kind of sports games. It's a very unconventional sports game. That's in the Kunio library of games from Technos. So it's a lot of fun. And the last one here, well, actually there's one more after this. TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the NES. Yeah, the first one, which is not a great game, but is okay. But yeah, I didn't have this one, so I might as well get it. And the last one, which is a really big steal of a deal, I found Knuckles Chaotix for the 32X. Price the same as all the other cartridge games, $4. And that's a fantastic deal for this game. It usually goes for about $50 or so. But that reminds me, I still need to get myself a 32X. I don't have a way to play this yet. But I will be getting a 32X now that I have 5 games for it. But we're not done. We're not done. I have a whole bunch more here. So let's get right to it. Again, I went to a Goodwill outlet later on that day, and I found 6 Genesis games and a PC game. So let's start off with the PC game first. This was Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3D. Yeah, this is a PC version of the N64 Rogue Squadron game. I did not know that this existed, but it's going to be fun playing this. It's probably a lot better graphics than the N64 version. And I found all these Genesis games in the huge blue bins that they have there at Goodwill Outlet. They were just buried under a bunch of crap, and they're complete in the box, all 6 of them. So the first one is Altered Beast. Yeah, I already had this game, but this is a much better condition copy than the one that I had, so I've already sold that one, and this one was only $2, so pretty much a free upgrade. Next I have X-Men, and this game is it's not as good as the sequel for the Genesis, but it is still a lot of fun. And I didn't have this one before. Now, this is some obscure game called Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know. I've never heard of it. But, well, okay. I do have this game, of course. Probably 50 times over by now, but I didn't have this retail version. I just had the not for resale version. There's no real difference between the two, but it's nice to have an alternate copy. And next one is another upgrade, Miss Pac-Man. And this is complete in box 2. I originally just had this as a cartridge, but now I have the whole thing. So all of these were $2, by the way. And here's another one I didn't have before, Crue Ball, the Motley Crue pinball game from Electronic Arts. Yeah, it is real. There is a Motley Crue pinball game, and it's got Motley Crue music in it, and it's okay, but it's not a great game, but it's a fun time waster. And after finding those 5, I went back a couple more times and I searched really hard to find the 6th one, and I finally came up with it. And the 6th one was Gadget Twins, which is a really bizarre game. It's a shooter style game, but it's done with melee weapons. So, yeah. Wrap your head around that one. That's a really weird idea, but it's a cute game, and it's 2 players, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, let's get right on to more games that I've gotten in the last few weeks. Start off with one I got at the swap meet, and this one was $3. It was called UmJammer Lammy. Yeah, it's a weird title, and this is a sequel / spin-off of the Parappa the Rapper game, and it's pretty much in the same vein, except for it's rock and roll instead of rapping, and it's a lot of fun. It's really bizarre though. And got another game here that I've been wanting for a while. And it's Resident Evil: The Dark Side Chronicles for the Wii. I have the other one, the Umbrella Chronicles. I've been waiting to get this one for a good price. $6 is all right. But yeah, this is a light gun game, and Wii light gun games are actually pretty good, so I'm glad to finally get my hands on that. And I found this Xbox game called Maximum Chase I do not know much about. So I'll check it out. It's only on Xbox Game, so I'm trying to get as many of those as I can. Alright, on the PlayStation 2, I've got Oni. And this is an interesting game. This is from Rockstar, but it was developed by Bungie, of all the companies, and it wasn't all that well received when it came out, but I'm willing to give it a shot. It looks like a lot of fun. This game is fairly recent. Well, it's not that recent anymore, but it's Kameo Elements of Power. This is only $2, and I thought I may as well go ahead and grab it. I mean, it's not, it's a later rare game, but it's supposed to be actually pretty good. And I have another Xbox game I got for $3. This was Guilty Gear X2 Reload, and I've been hearing a lot about these Guilty Gear games, especially these 2D ones. I have a 3D one that didn't look all that great, but this 2D one looks like it's a lot of fun. And these have great art, actually. They're pretty awesome looking. Okay, and I found these 2 PlayStation 2 games at the same time. I've been waiting for one of these to pop up. I'm glad to get 2 of them. So, Katamari Damacy. Yeah, the very bizarre game where you're rolling a ball around and you're making things stick to it. Really bizarre and a lot of fun. Very Japanese. I love it. I've been waiting to get my hands on this one. I don't see it out in the wild very often. But I also have its sequel, We Love Katamari, right here. And that was right next to it on the shelf, so I thought I might as well get it as well. I'm going to have a lot of fun with these games. Okay, so last weekend they had the Seattle Retro Gaming Expo, and I decided to only go one of the days instead of both days. But I had a lot of fun there. It wasn't as good as last year's show, but it was at least worth going to. So at least we got that. So I got a few games there. I didn't buy a whole lot because everything was still really expensive, and I just wasn't in the mood to spend $100 on something. I gotta control myself when I'm at these places. So I found a few games here that were worth it. First up was Arkanoid. I found this for $5, and that's a pretty good deal for this game. And the other thing I purchased a lot of 4 games here for about $48. The first one is the Pagemaster for the Super Nintendo. Just it's based off of a not very good movie, but it's a fun little platformer. It's not terrible. And I got another platformer here, Daffy Duck the Marvin Missions. It's only $8. Well, at least they marked it at $8. It was all a bundle. And here's a bigger one, though. TMNT 3, The Manhattan Project. This is actually a really good game for the NES. This is actually, well, I'd actually put this up as a must-have for the NES. This is a lot of fun, and it plays, a lot closer to the arcade games than even TMNT 2 did. So a lot of fun there. And the last game I got in that lot was a Genesis game called Red Zone. And if you don't know about Red Zone, if you want to see a game that really pushes the Genesis to its absolute limit, this would be the game, because it's got full motion video scenes, it's got all sorts of weird 3D effects and a fully rotating background. It's just incredible to look at. It's not the greatest playing game in the world, but it is a fun game still. And I'm glad to finally get it. Okay, and the last batch of games I've got here, boy, I've got a lot of games in this last few weeks, is a batch that I found at Goodwill Outlet. Yet again, they come through for me. Some weekends they don't have anything for me, but some other weekends they have a whole lot of stuff. So first up I have a PlayStation game called Star Gladiator. This was just a disc. Didn't know too much about this game, but I guess it's based off of an arcade game, and it looks pretty fun. It's a fighting game. Now I found a whole bunch of PC games, and some of these I might resell or something, but I might keep a few of these, we'll see. First up is PC version of Nightmare Creatures. It's a weird action horror game from the mid-90s. And I found a few, let me see. I found an expansion for Roller Coaster Tycoon, Corkscrew Follies, Star Wars Monopoly, CD-ROM edition, Redneck Rampage Rides Again, Unreal Tournament, and 3D Ultra Mini Golf. I have this game sealed, but now I have the actual just disc opened, and it's in good condition. And the last thing I got there at the Goodwill Outlet is a big one. It is a Radio Shack TRS-80 computer. I love these old computers, and this one has a power supply built into it. I just need to build a AV cable for this guy, and it should be good to go. But it's a nice little computer here, and I got all these things at Goodwill Outlet for about $5, so that's a pretty good deal. This computer even has a cartridge slot on it, so I will try to find some games for it if I can. Anyways, that is it. Alright, that is it for this episode. I will be back really shortly with another one, because I've picked up a whole lot more games since then. Thanks for watching.